This is Old Line Farmer Radio, a Maryland Farm Bureau production, helping you achieve your best farm future.
Old Line Farmer Radio, I am here with Garrett Deltuva in northern Carroll County and his dog Bailey. Garrett, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. So, I found out about you through Luke Borchell,
right.
Who we had on the podcast a few episodes ago. You can take a look back at that. And so he mentioned this is another musician from Nashville, but he's originally from Maryland. And in seeing your social media and learning more about it, not only are you from Maryland, but you're a farmer. You grew up on a farm. Not only that, but your farm is actually in the path of the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project.
Yes, sir.
So maybe you can tell our listeners a little bit about your background in agriculture.
Yeah. So growing up, my grandfather had cattle, but sold them all, and now runs a sheep farm over in Manchester, and grew up doing the chores in the summertime, baling hay and shooting bales out of the wagon to them, helping around when I can, shots and everything. And then when we moved in here, brought up the cattle, and that was every weekend, every summer day. It was got to help move the cattle, got to help build a running shed for them, and just busy.
Yeah.
No off days.
Yeah, and a lot of times in country music you have the fake cowboys, but he earned his hat, everybody. So don't come after Garrett.
I'll never claim to be a cowboy. It's an occupation, but like I think Alan Jackson said it, is he just he thinks he looks better in one, so that's why he wore his. And
right. But you spend
the Western style.
You spend a lot of time looking at cow butts.
Yes,
so that's it.
100%.
So you've earned it. It was after Luke told me about you that you uploaded this video on your Instagram talking about the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project, and it got a lot of attention. Even a lot of state legislators were reposting this video. I was just talking to your dad, and the proposed route runs right through your property. What does that mean?
Yeah, I kind of felt like I was up a creek without a paddle, living in Nashville and hearing about this project come about, and it kind of hurt. Like, I don't know, it's like someone tearing up your roots a little bit. This is what made me who I am, and all the lessons learned from even just running a hammer drill, building the barnyard, to the circle of life with cattle, and farming ain't always good days. There's bad days. So there's a lot of back and forth of life lessons that are learned on the farm, and I still think about when I'm in a tough spot or something that I relate back to. So hearing about this project, I wanted to do something, and obviously being 700 miles away, there wasn't a whole lot I could do. But one thing that I do have is social media, and that's changed over the past 5 years, and giving you a voice, giving tons of people voices. So I think on Instagram it got 15,000 views, so that's 15,000 people who may have not ever heard about this issue before. And even because there's a similar thing going on in Tennessee with the TVA. I know John Rich stopped the TVA from a similar issue, Mo Pitney too. So just word of mouth is what I'm trying to do, and that was what that video started. And then thankfully Farm Bureau and you reached out to me about it, because I didn't know what to do next. So it's a blessing, because it was a call at the right time.
Yeah. Well, I know that you're right on that Pennsylvania border. We're glad that you're on this side of the Mason-Dixon. But we're talking to your dad earlier. I mean, this is folks' livelihoods. This is if the project gets constructed as proposed, I mean, it would be detrimental to so many farm families like yours.
Correct. Yeah. Not just ours too. Obviously this is a first generation farm, and generational farms only happen when somebody starts one. And there's generational farms that are in the path that have been around since Manchester was created. So it hits a little bit harder for everybody, in different ways, but we're all in the same battle against it.
Yeah, absolutely, and Farm Bureau's helping that out. We pledged $50,000 to the legal fight. The Public Service Commission just affirmed our right to represent farmers in these discussions. So we're in the fight, but if folks want to get involved, how can we do that?
StopMPRP.com. There's links there that donations is the biggest thing right now, and word of mouth. The more eyes we can get on this issue, the better. Power in numbers, and joining the fight is becoming a Farm Bureau member and helping them out. Obviously, they're a huge contributor from the big farms even to us, our little projects too.
Yeah. Well, now that we're sufficiently depressed, let's move on to a happier topic. You're getting some attention lately on social media. You've moved down to Nashville. You're in that music scene. Just tell me about your path in music.
It's been a journey for sure. I love it. All the baby steps hopefully will lead to a big one. But I kind of grew. I was a roofer here in town for a couple years, carpenter before that, and my dad's a big 80s hair band fan as well as old country music. So I learned guitar on electric, got yelled at for being too loud, and found out that acoustic guitar and songwriting was where I kind of related most.
Yeah.
And then the whole move happened in January. It was January 15th, 2022. I had a electrocution accident.
Oh wow.
I was making a bar top. It's called fractal burning, which basically is a car battery or you can use a microwave transformer and burns a pattern into the wood. Well, I did it wrong. Went through my fingers and came out right above my heart and stopped my heart for 15 minutes.
Wow.
And thankfully the EMTs and all the nurses and the doctors and the helicopter pilot who took me to Trauma from Carroll, cousin's girlfriend immediately doing CPR on me, all of them, it was a blessing to come out with just a couple scars. But after that, I was like, I'm not dying, not knowing what if.
Right.
So I recovered, and then that happened January, and then July 28th of that year, I packed up the trailer and drove down.
Wow. Man, that's a harrowing story, and so glad that you're here. So glad that you're following your dreams and passions. That's awesome. Look, dude, taking one look at your Spotify page or your Instagram, it's clear that you're really inspired by specifically kind of like neo-traditional, like that 90s, 80s country.
Yeah.
I always say that like people, what the music that they're growing up kind of sticks with them for life. 100%. You're a little bit younger than me, but like, I got like the tail end of the 90s, and then for lack of a better term, kind of like when I got to high school, it was like bro country.
That was a big boom.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not to denigrate that genre, because there's a lot of people that are doing good work, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. So it was just kind of interesting that you're a little bit younger than me, so you're probably in the peak of that. But you take so much inspiration from Alan Jackson
100%.
And probably George Strait. So where does that love of that style of country music come from?
The backseat of my father's pickup. It was always. He's a huge Jimmy Buffett fan. He grew up going when he was in college. But my mother too, whenever she'd clean the house on Sundays, she had Sunday morning CMT on. Yeah. And I just feel, I love lyricism, I love words, and being able to put somebody back in an exact moment is something that I fell in love with. And obviously music is everything, so every subgenre of country music that there is has its place and its right time. But for me, my mom always says I'm an old soul, and my whole playlist is Alan Jackson, Keith Whitley, Randy Travis, Merle Haggard, like all the heavy hitters. Right. But it was all about the lyrics. Yeah. And just that the tone, and happy or sad. There's a song in that time that for every emotion and anything in life that you can relate to. Right. And having thousands of people listen to a song and then all have that same emotion, that's just the coolest way, in my opinion, of like connecting. And I've had, on some videos that I post, I've had people message me and be like, this is so cool that like I'm dealing with this, nobody really knows, but, and I'm like, I'm just a roofer and carpenter who took a shot and moved, and something that I made kind of made you feel something in a way, and that's just the coolest thing for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the art of country music is telling the stories that people can relate to, and perhaps we moved away from that, but, you know, I see folks like, you know, Zach Top, some of these younger guys that are making music with that, you know, like 90s, 80s
Zach
sound.
Top, Braxton Keith, Jake Worthington, love all of those guys. Shout out to my buddy Zachy. He cut one of our songs, but he's doing that. He's in New Mexico. There's a new wave of like that 80s, 90s country that's coming up, and I think, you know, I forget who said, I think it was Drake Milligan. He's like, it's not going to take one person, it's going to take an army. And that new wave, I mean, just like anything in life, fashion, music, it's kind of hit that loop now, where there's a whole new wave of that traditional country coming through.
Right. To quote Lainey Wilson, country's cool again.
Absolutely.
So, talking about some of your songwriting, again, that's what I really liked about you was you could tell that you really put in thought to some of these stories. In your latest single that you put out, Beer Man. So this was funny. Listen to the song. Instrumental's rocking, like, you know, it's got that honky tonk feeling. But I was listening to it and I was like, you know, I'm not really sympathizing with the Beer Man. But then the bridge happened, and I won't reveal the twist in that song after the bridge. Go and look it up on Spotify. But then I was like, oh, he knocked it out of the park with this one. It all came together.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Well, what goes into writing music like that?
That one, my buddy TJ Getch and Alex Kaler and I, it was one of our first times getting together and going into a new write with people you don't really know. Is there's like a little odd hour that happens of like kind of testing the waters and seeing if you're gonna click. And we one thing we all had in common is we enjoyed Miller Lite and we enjoyed whiskey, so we kind of sat there and we were just chewing the fat a little bit, going back and forth, and we ran out of beer, and none of us thought about, I guess you can Uber alcohol now, that wasn't in our heads. We were about to go to bed. And I was like, well, what if there was a milkman for beer? We could use one of them right now. And then it just kind of took away, and all the thoughts of like, oh, well, it needs to be the best line. It was just, well, it'd be kind of funny if he did this, and that. And we just ran with it. And especially that little twist at the bridge. I feel like country has lost the art of a little bit of self-deprecation. 100%. It's always fun to a tongue-in-cheek lyric or moment. And
then especially for our members at home, a lot of our farmers, I really recommend your other single, Living the Dream. It almost puts a tear into your eye. We all don't want to grow up necessarily to be rock stars. You know, we just want to make an honest living. What went into that?
So my grandfather, he, whenever you call the house, he picks up and it's Deltuva residence, and then you say, hey, Dad, how are you? And he knows it's one of the grandchildren. And after you ask, well, how are you? He could be having the worst day of his life, and he always answers, living the dream. And that was, gosh, I'm trying to remember where I wrote that. I was my first year in Nashville. I was just sitting at the house by myself, and I got off the phone with him, and it just kind of, like the old blue jeans and a worn out shirt, that's him whenever he's walking out to feed. 4 healthy kids, my father and his 3 sisters, and my late grandmother, my mom. She's a huge part of all of our stories, and just kind of a tribute. He is alive and well. I posted a teaser about that song, and everyone was like, oh, I bet he loves, he's looking down. Like, no, he's good. He's good. He's alive.
Loves the song.
Yeah, loves the song. He's a little biased. He says it's my best one that he's heard. But understandably so. But no, that was just a tribute to him. It's cool to have a gift, like give him a gift that will, with technology now, outlive me. Like,
Yeah.
it's always going to be there.
Mhm.
So it's kind of putting his mark,
Yeah.
which is a super cool thing to give back to him.
Very well said, and I think that's so much of what makes your music special is that there's a lot of meaning behind those lyrics that you're writing.
100%.
Yeah, putting that passion out there. So we're about to wrap up. I just want to ask a few rapid fire questions. These are just
Okay.
don't think too hard. These are just fun. All right.
All right.
So, last meal on Earth, what would it be?
A Full Moon Farm steak and potatoes with a little bit of bourbon.
Okay. All right.
That'll be that'd be my last meal for sure.
Right, and you can have it here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you could get tickets to any artist, living or dead, who would it be?
Keith Whitley,
Okay.
for sure.
When You Say Nothing at All.
Yeah.
One beautiful song. I guess in extension of that, who are some of your biggest musical inspirations?
I would say my Mount Rushmore would be Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Keith Whitley, and Merle Haggard. I love Merle's honky-tonkness that he can do, but also flip it completely backwards and go and write Misery and Gin. Like,
Right.
and all of them great writers
Yeah.
and great artists that there were. Alan had, I think, 36 number ones, and he was a part of 24 of them. And it's just,
Yeah.
and that's what I want. That's my goal. So
Right.
those are my top four for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Dream venue. Where would you want to play?
Red Rocks.
Yeah.
The
Awesome.
Opry, obviously, 100%, but
Yeah.
I was gracious enough to be able to go see a show at Red Rocks, and just being there and seeing, like, I was side stage and looking out, just the tower of 10,000
Right.
people. It's just something special.
Yeah.
Ryman and Opry are obviously on there, but
Uh-huh.
of course they're givens.
right, of course. And then just last question, and I think you can speak to this very well because you grew up on a farm yourself, but this is Maryland Farm Bureau. We're a trade organization that represents Maryland farmers. What's your message to the farming community of Maryland?
Never let it die. Always keep it and fight for what you believe in. That's all we can ever do.
Very well said. So, Garrett, we're wrapping up. If folks want to get in touch with you, want to listen to your music, how can they do that?
I forget tags, whatever the
Social
tag,
media.
social media,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the things is my name, Garrett Deltuva, Garrett, D as in dog, EL, T as in Tom, U, V as in Victor, A. I gotta spell it out.
Right.
It gets a little confusing.
Yeah.
But I thank you, Farm Bureau, for everything that y'all are doing. Jed, thank you for reaching out to me.
Yeah.
I saw your message a lot and lit me up. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Let's go. Awesome. Well, yeah, if folks, I know we have a lot of folks that are visiting Nashville. Let's check out Garrett Deltuva, watch him play.
Big things coming next year. I'm hitting the ground running. So.
All right. Awesome. Garrett, thank you so much for joining us
Jed,
today.
thank you.